That's what this is. This action right here. And you can see, I can do this while I'm talking, but actually it is effective because ultimately what's happening is my lungs are moving, even though they're not moving in the context of breath, and it's affecting, how they support my vocal cords and all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, it's not you can't do it completely independently, but ultimately that is the movement that creates that limbic system shutting down and our ability to kind of come back into a calmer place, more centered place. I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, so there's rules to this. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I actually did that one wrong because so you want, when you breathe in, breathe out, you want that number to be the same. So count when you breathe in, count when you breathe out. It doesn't matter what the number is. It just matters that that's the same number. There's a neurological basis for all this stuff. You can go back on my YouTube page and see all of these videos that I've done, and scroll back if you want to get more detail about the neurologic basis for all this stuff. Also, back free. You don't want to be leaning back in a chair. You want to make sure that there's somewhat of a 90-degree angle with your legs to your torso. Better than 90 degree also works too, but it's all about not impinging this diaphragm and allowing it to be as free as it possibly can. Using those out to the mouth, counting, free diaphragm. And yeah, the diaphragmatic release is the big, most important thing. So when I'm breathing in, so that movement, and no movement in the shoulders, and that's the action that you're looking for. That is going to affect, well, I can see, even doing that, I can feel it, literally feel it affecting me. And what that effect actually is, you'd have to ask my daughter. She knows about this stuff better than I do, in terms of the actual physiological effects and context of the brain and your neurology and all that sort of stuff. However, I do want to throw out something that occurred to me this weekend that I think is extremely important to note. All these ideas come from people who aren't white, and the only thing that white people have contributed to it, not the only thing, but what white people have contributed to it is very concrete going on. But in terms of where these practices come from, like for example, the breathe thing, the counting thing that I do, Thich Nhat Hanh is a Vietnamese guy, and that came from a Vietnamese strain of Buddhism. The meditation practices are linked through Buddhism to the Hindu tradition, which comes from India, the Shindu area of that Asian continent. And so people who are not white have been carrying these extremely important spiritual practices through a tremendous amount of difficulty through a very long time, and they currently support my life in a way that's greater than I could possibly explain. They are how I'm getting through all this stuff, which is why I'm passing them on to you through them. Hopefully they will be useful for you. But yeah, so keeping it simple, coming back into the moment, and that those basic ideas in terms of the diaphragmatic release, what they do, so in terms of calming, what they do is they bring me into a place where what I'm paying attention to is what's happening right here, right now, which is where all my power is, which is where my power to make choices is. And which brings me to something I was going to throw out just for today to ponder, having to do with the power of our choices. It is so profoundly important right now for me to remember that the choices that I make have effects for me and the people that I love, people I care about, me and my family, people I care about, but also extending beyond that whether I choose or not to wear a mask, me walking around, riding my bike with my mask on, is having effects on other people in the context of their thoughts and their ideas about what's going on, what's not going on. There are certain people whose choices affect more people more quickly, but there is nobody on the planet right now who isn't making choices that affect others in very, very profound ways. In a lot of ways, this whole virus thing has put us in a position where, in fact, our choices have profound effects, and so it matters. It matters what we do, perhaps more than it ever has before. And so just something to think about. And I say that as a way to kind of to validate others, to support the power of others, to remind us that we're able to do great things, and those great things, we can see that happening right now in the context of the effects of our choices. And so just something to think about. So that's it for today. It's What's Next with Dr. Joel. I'm still Dr. Joel, just like I was when I started this little blah blah that I'm doing right now. And I'll be back tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great day.